jump in. So big, happy, hearty hello and welcome from Nicholas de Castella at the Australian Breathwork College to our Heart-Centred Breathwork Session. It's an absolute delight to have you here, and we've had a beautiful check-in with a cross-section of our members of our community who've been with us for up to 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, just coming in, some people first time. So welcome to everybody. If you're listening to recording, welcome to you also. So, in this session, you're about to discover the magic of heart-centered breathwork. I've been a full-time breathwork practitioner for over 30 years, and in that time, I've developed a very sophisticated and elegant, gentle style of breathwork that we'll be exploring in this session that can help you to have profound shifts quickly and gently. We're going to actually experience a core clearing breathwork session, and that will help you quickly and gently experience profound healing and heart opening to align with your passion and purpose is the central theme for this session. So, helping you to get empowered if you're already working in service to others, or if you have a longing to do that, to find what's been holding you back so that you can step up to the next level and make a bigger difference in the world. And I'll also be sharing about our internationally recognized online breathwork certificate coach training, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, really. So, this work is for you if you want to work deeply and holistically with clients, gently facilitate profound emotional healing, find meaning in service to others with breathwork, create a flexible, rewarding income stream, working your own hours online from anywhere in the world, setting up, creating your own raving fans and a heart-centered community. So this session is also introduction and orientation for our next training. So I'll be mapping out the pillars and the steps towards the end of our session. So as I mentioned, I've been a full-time breathwork practitioner for 33 years. That's all I've done, and I've created a fabulous life doing that. I've traveled the world running breathwork sessions. We have a retreat centre in the Dandenong Ranges on the outskirts of Melbourne, a healing centre in the city, and in that time, I facilitated about 400 3.5 day residential programs. I've been training breathwork practitioners since 1999, so that's 26 years. And now my role is as a mentor and a trainer to pass over the baton from the wisdom and experience that I've developed in those years to train as many people as I can to take breathwork out to the world. And thanks to the COVID lockdown, where we got shut down in our in-person workshops, we evolved to online trainings. We still do some in-person workshops, which I love, connecting to people, but thanks to the COVID lockdown, it's pushed us out into the world, and we now have people all around the world who have completed our core clearing breathwork facilitator training and taking that out and creating a life that they love in service to others. So, as I mentioned, I've created my dream life with breathwork. I've been married to my beautiful soulmate, Susan, for over 25 years now. We both share a passion for living life fully and for healing and growing together. We brought two fabulous sons into the world, Charlie and Alex, that are just incredible young men. We just ran a workshop on empowering youth to thrive a couple of weeks ago, and Alex was co-hosting that with me and just represented himself in an amazing way. And my purpose and passion is to help awaken a heart-connected humanity. And so I spend a lot of time giving presentations, helping people to connect from their head to the heart. And I believe that humanity is on the cusp of evolution, and the personal, social, and global problems that we're witnessing are all the birthing pains that are pushing us to wake up to the realization that we are one, to come back into relationship, to come awaken to what I call unity consciousness, and that healing happens by reconnecting from our head to our heart. Um, I'll leave it there, but I could talk for a long time about that. So, in this session, I want to help you have a breakthrough tonight, right? So who's ready to play at 100%? In the chat, let me know who's ready to play 100%. All in. Fantastic. Great. Awesome. Fantastic. I mean, why not? Why just let this chance pass you by without really engaging? So let's jump in and have a great time together. So by initiating the heart-centered breath work, I want to just explain, as I see it, the three superpowers of our breath. And no matter what breathing practice you've done, whether it's yoga breathing, holotropic breathing, Wim Hof breathing, Buddhist breathing, whatever breathing you've been doing, these three superpowers apply wherever you go. The first superpower of the breath is that it anchors us into the present moment. So whenever you focus on your breath, it brings you into the here and now. And then the next step is it brings you actually into your body. So you become embodied. And that is a superpower because most of us live a lot of our life in the past or in the future or absent from the present at least. And so really we claim our power, we claim our connection to creation, to intuitive guidance, to our intuition when we're in our body and present. So, a lot of our work is about coming back into relationship, and breath work is the most powerful practice that brings us into our body and into the present moment. The second superpower of the breath is that it energizes our body. So, whenever you start to breathe consciously, you'll notice your energy increases. No matter what practice or style you're implementing, your energy level is going to go up. You're going to become more present, awake, alert, energized. And then the third practice is that it facilitates the flow of energy through the body. So when we're stressed or tense or anxious, we tend to tense up in our body. That constricts the breath, that stops us from breathing fully, and that blocks the flow of energy through our body. And so when we're breathing consciously, and you'll experience this in this session, that allows that energy that's been blocked and held in our body to flow, and our heart centered approach is underpinned by a basic trust in the goodness of life, that there's a natural, fundamental tendency in nature towards health and happiness and wholeness that gets allowed to happen when we let go into presence. So, those are the three superpowers. We have a whole range of different breathing practices that we teach in our community in the core clearing training. I'll talk a bit more about these later on. But in this session, we're going to focus on connected breathing. And the connected breath is the one that we use mostly for emotional healing because it facilitates the flow of that energy that I was just talking about. So, the principles that guide the connected breathing is through the nose, breathing in and out through the nose, a full breath, which means breathing gently down into the belly, expanding gently into the chest, and then allowing the breath to flow up into our upper back without forcing anything, but just a relaxed, deep breath, an active inhale and a passive exhale. So every time we breathe in, we commit to being here on earth for another 5 minutes. And so the inhale, taking in life force, chi, prana, it's all about empowerment. And the exhale is all about surrendering, letting go, and opening. So when we have the active inhale with the passive exhale, we become strong and empowered and open and flowing, a lovely combination. And so we just blend that emphasis on the inhale as active and the emphasis on the exhale as surrender pretty much through all of our practices, in fact, but it's specifically important in emotional healing because as we breathe in, we start to connect into the body and the energy, and as we breathe out, we allow it to flow. So I'm teaching you this at the start of our session because we're going to loop back into this later on when we're going through the core clearing process. The fourth aspect of connected breathing is that there's no pauses. So it's what we sometimes call circular breathing, as distinct from box breathing that has pauses. Each different breathing style has different effects and different purposes. But for this, we want the breath to be as flowing as possible to allow that natural healing process to unfold for us. So the breath is flowing. It's sometimes called free breathing or circular breathing. The fifth aspect of connected breathing is that it's gentle, it's soft and flowing. And there's lots of different breathing practices out there, lots of very dynamic breathing practices that build up a lot of emotional charge. And what I've discovered after doing conscious breathing for over 30 years is that there's a great power in the gentle approach, because when we start forcing and pushing unconsciously, we create resistance. Pushing creates resistance, and resistance causes pain. And there's no resistance to gentleness. There's no defense against gentleness. And so this is a deceptive principle, because so many of us are used to working hard to get to where we want to go. And the idea of relaxing and surrendering and allowing the process is unfamiliar for most of us. And that's just a reflection on how we don't trust in the goodness in life. And we're our little ego driving the show all the time. The tempo we use for connected breathing is about a 4-4 tempo. So that means breathing into the count of 4 and out to the count of 4. And I'll guide you in this. You don't have to remember any of it, but I'm just sharing this as a little education piece that you can take forward from this session and start practicing. If you feel a little dysregulated, a little anxious, a little stressed, you could just do some connected breathing for 5 minutes, and I promise you it'll make a huge difference. So let's put the promise to the test, and we'll do it for 1 minute instead. And before we do that, I'd like to invite you just to take a conscious breath in your body and check in and notice on a scale of 1 to 10 where your stress level is at the moment. So 1 being totally chilled and relaxed, and 10 being totally stressed out of your tree. So throw that number in the chat. Yep, that would be great. So Beck's 3, 4. Yeah, that's it. 5. We're going to check in after we do 1 minute of connected breathing again and see how we're traveling here. 7, 5, 5. Yeah. Remember, just join in. Actually, you'll find yourself engaged and you'll get more from it. You can't get this wrong. It's just a number. Yes. Exhausted. Yeah. So where's your energy level at out of 10? Maybe not stressed, but exhausted. So I'm gathering 0. Oh, well, yeah, I see it's reversed. So, yeah. So how would you do that? Not sure. Anyway, you can just report back to us what the shift is, maybe, Brigitte. Okay, so let's have a practice of this and see how we go. So I'll guide you through this, and we'll check in again afterwards. So I'd like to invite you to let your eyes close gently. Give yourself permission to be here in this moment, bringing your attention to your breath, feeling the breath coming in through your nostrils, down into your belly, filling up to your chest. Just breathing gently, conscious breath, and then breathing out and letting go. Staying with the breath, drawing the breath in, breathing into your body, noticing how you're feeling as you're breathing in, expanding, and then when you feel full with the breath, just let the breath fall out. Drawing another conscious breath in and letting go. Breathing gently down into your belly, up to your chest, and then maybe a little bit into your upper back. and letting go. Noticing that slight accent on the inhalation. When you breathe in, you're drawing the breath in. And as you're breathing out, you're just letting go. Feeling the circular nature of your breath, like waves rolling in and out on the beach. Feeling your breath flowing in and out, keeping it gentle, soft, and flowing. Breathing in a steady rhythm of about 4-4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 3, 2, 1. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 3, 2, 1. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 3, 2, 1. Continuing in your own tempo, you might go slower than that, the same as that, or faster. Feeling your breath and acknowledging what's happening in your experience. Happy, sad, relaxed, peaceful, numb, blank, whatever it is. See if you can make space for that with curiosity, breathing into it and letting go. Okay, so that's about a minute. We'll come back later. So taking another conscious breath in, down to your belly, gently bring yourself back. And then another deep breath down to your hands and feet. Wiggle your fingers and toes, let your eyes open. And with your eyes open, take another breath in and check in now. Let me know where your stress or anxiety level is at the moment from 1 to 10. Put in the number you put in before and then the number of where you are now. Or the shift for Brigitte. 3 to 2. Beautiful. Yeah. 5 to 3. 3 to 2. 2 to 1. 3 to 5 with teary eyes coming up. Beautiful. 4 to 2, 5 to 3, 4 to 2, 5 to 4, 3 to 2, 7 to 4. Feeling better already? Yes. Peaceful. 4 to 1, 5 to 2. So I'm pretty sure if we average that out, we'd find 50% stress reduction in 60 seconds, right? So that's testimony to the power of the breath. And obviously, wherever you go, you've got your breath. It's free and freely available. So something that you can take away from this session is just a reminder to practice connected breathing in your everyday life. And really, this is the main practice I've been doing for over 30 years. And then we just extended in slightly different directions for different effects. But this is the central breathing practice that I've been using. So I want to take a memorial of this session. So I'll just pause the recording. Okay, so about 15 years ago, a friend of mine, Paul Blackburn, who just passed away last Monday, asked me to be a master coach on his master coach panel. And before that, I'd spent 20 years guiding people through breathwork sessions lying on the floor. And suddenly, this is all before the internet, I had to guide people on the phone to access the subconscious emotional trauma they're carrying and process it. And so, over a couple of years of doing that, something that I discovered was that we get stuck in life by trying to avoid doing what's going to activate our subconscious unprocessed emotions, right? So, if you're thinking of doing something and you find yourself not doing it, like wanting to start a relationship, wanting to do some YouTube videos, wanting to get going with your breathwork practice, whatever it is that you're thinking of doing, if you notice yourself not doing it, procrastinating, stalling, what's actually going on there is you're protecting yourself from the possibility of activating the trauma that you're already carrying from your past. We tend to think it's frightened of what's going to happen in the future, but in fact, what I discovered was that we don't take action, we stall to protect ourselves from the risk of activating the emotions that we're carrying. I had one guy who spent $25,000 on his life coach training. He wasn't doing any marketing. And he came onto the session one day feeling really bad because he was procrastinating about doing it. So I guided him into his body and into his heart, and almost instantly, anger came up for him about his pro bono clients during his training who just ignored what he told them to do and didn't do it. So he's carrying his anger. And so his way of protecting himself from being ignored again was not doing any marketing, right? So subconsciously, he was actually looking after himself by not doing the marketing, even though consciously he was feeling bad about it. And the session didn't stop there. He went deeper than that. And he realized that at that time, he didn't actually want to do any life coaching because he had bought the property next door. And in his heart, he really wanted to do the development on both properties. And he knew if he was doing the life coaching, it'd get in the way. And so he came out of the session with clarity, with understanding, without the shame that he was putting himself, and with a clear direction to move forward. And what's one of the beautiful things about the core clearing process is it helps us to get under our conscious mind to find out what's really going on under the surface in our subconscious, and then to clear that, whatever that is, so that we can get more in touch with the guidance from our heart and move forward in the direction of authenticity and purpose. So, how this works is that we regress back to past trauma by following the emotion. And the principle we use here is that emotions link us to past trauma. So, we all have emotional themes that run through our life like a thread through a blanket. So, we have a theme on abandonment or rejection or disappointment or failure or humiliation or even abuse. And when we connect to the feelings that we're carrying about any of those themes, we find there's a whole series of events that track back through our life that have the same emotional charge. And when we get reactive, when we get activated or triggered, what's happening is that thread is getting turned on, and the whole pool of emotion that we've been carrying is coming up in the present moment. And so when we're reacting to a situation, it's because some trauma that's unresolved is coming to the surface. And so what we do in our healing work is we allow ourselves to feel the emotion from those events gently and at the pace that feels comfortable and manageable. And then as we process through that reactivity, we actually increase our capacity to be responsive rather than reactive. And so the example that I like to use is we all know these days when we've been feeling peaceful and calm and relaxed, and somebody comes in around us, it could be your partner, say in this example, or a friend, or someone in your family who's angry. And suddenly we find ourselves feeling childlike, like small and powerless in there. And so what's happened is subconsciously we've projected onto that other person an authority role like an angry parent. And so we've regressed back, feeling weak, frightened. Maybe we go quiet and withdraw, or maybe we throw a tantrum. And most of this happens in a nanosecond and we're not conscious of. But what we do when we're doing the core clearing process, and I'm going to guide you through this in a second, is we actually make that regression process conscious by being aware in it. And I'll unpack that in more detail. And so in the process, we clear that emotional charge and we actually connect more deeply to a deeper state of being, which we call heart intelligence, so that we can respond to the situation that we're in rather than reacting. So responding from love rather than reacting from fear. That's basically the way that we go here. So the underlying principle in our heart-centered approach to breathwork is that presence heals. A lot of us are busy trying to get somewhere or make something happen, and in our heart-centered approach, we actually relax and let go about the doing and instead focus on how can I be present to the experience that's rising in this moment. And when we do that, the healing happens. So the principle we're working with in the moment and in all of our work is change happens when we experience what is. So the goal in heart-centered breathwork is not to get to happiness. The goal is not to get to peace. The goal is not to get it somewhere else. The goal is actually to experience what's present now. And when we do that, change happens, right? So another way of saying this is any unwanted feeling when fully experienced vanishes instantly. Or the healing is in the feeling. You've probably heard this. And so when we're going through the process, let go of trying to get anywhere, make anything happen. We're just simply focusing on what's actually here in this moment. And as if by magic, the shift happens and we find we're moving towards peace and happiness and love. Like we just did in that breathing practice, all we did was focus on the breath. We didn't try and relax. We didn't try to cultivate any positive feelings or anything. We just focused on the breath. And what we noticed is that life kind of washed over us and cleansed us. So, um, underpinning heart-centered breathwork is a basic trust in the goodness of life. And I call that grace. Grace is being loved by life, and I believe we are all being loved by life all the time. Even when we're in pain and suffering, there is something that's being called of us to be able to open and heal and grow. The challenge is knowing how to process it so that we can get to that point. So, hope that all makes sense. That's a very brief fundamental principles in our work. Who's ready to rock? Who wants to have a breakthrough tonight? Right. So, as I said, this is actually a workshop. Right. So, let me know in the chat. Just check in. It'll help you to get more from the training. So, and Jeff, definitely ready to rock. One, two, yes, great. Yeah, three. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, that's it. Throw your hat into the ring. So let's go to it. Okay, so what I would like to invite you to do is to think about a specific issue or situation in your life, right? Something that causes you to feel upset. As I mentioned at the start, you might focus on finding and living your purpose and passion at a higher level. Could be a resentment that you're carrying. You might like to walk away from this session, healing a past hurt, maybe release some kind of a worry, something that's been nagging you, some relationship that you've got in your life to be able to find more patience and acceptance and compassion, um, shift some anxiety, shift some frustration. Maybe you're feeling stuck about something in your life. Maybe you notice you've been procrastinating, putting things off, and not really understanding why. Maybe you've been like mentally fatigued, cloudy, overwhelmed, tired. Maybe you're confused about an important decision that you've got to make, not sleeping well at night, not functioning properly. Maybe you're aware of some guilt or shame that's been blocking you from really being happy and successful in your life. You could work on physical pain, like somebody mentioned in the start, physical health condition that you've got. You can heal that with this core clearing. Maybe you're stuck in a past disappointment, a broken heart, a relationship hurt, maybe a business failure. Maybe you've had a go at going out on your own and creating a business and maybe it didn't work. Well, and you're still stuck back there in that. So maybe you can heal that or something else. So the way this works is the more specific you can be with it, the more power you'll get with it. So if you have something general like, I'm not good enough or I'm unworthy, that's very broad and quite hard to work with. What you want to do is take one of those things, let's say I'm not good enough, and look, when does that come up? Does it come up at work, socially, when you're on your own, when you go to sit down to write something, whatever it is? Think about the actual specific time that it comes up. Okay, so in the chat, as much as you feel comfortable sharing, I'd like to invite you to let me know what's the issue, the specific issue or situation that you'd like to experience a healing on in this session. Yes, not being able to choose. And that will cause a cold because colds are related to mental confusion, by the way. So, yes, having a decision that you're confused about makes your head go foggy physically, metaphysically and physically. Yeah, procrastinating, mental fog. Yes, think about where you're procrastinating. Is it at work, at home, in your future, in your relationship? Just see if you can zero in on a specific event where this gets activated. Stuck, non-engaging in actions that will serve me on so many levels. Yeah, yeah. Again, you don't have to share it, but think about where are you mostly stuck? What's the biggest stuck in your life? Uh, Healing from a sibling made me feel like a dumb sister. Yeah, that's very specific. Thank you for your sharing and vulnerability in there. Stuck in a career I no longer want to be in. Been there. Yeah, I spent 8 years training to be an architect, 6 years trying to work out whether it's okay not to keep on doing this thing that got more and more soulless. So yeah, yeah. So that would be a great one to work on. Stuck in a career I don't want to be in, and the fears of changing. You know, what what is it that comes up when you think about doing something different? Stuck in my work. Yep, yep, what and how to do next with breath work. So not knowing where to go. You probably have an idea, but then it's like, oh, can't go there. Don't want to do that. That's dangerous. Uh, Another head cold. Yes. Okay. Grief, failed dad and husband. Yeah. So processing some past. Very, very vulnerable. Thank you for sharing. Bring breathwork for income. Yeah. Yeah, so subconsciously, we block ourselves from being abundant. We block ourselves from receiving the goodness that life has to offer. Right? Your job is to work out why, and I'll help you. You can go in there to find out where am I stopping life from loving me and supporting me and being abundant. Right? What's the fear? It's usually fear. It could be a resentment from someone else who's wealthy, but it's often fear. And that would be a fear anyway of like, I don't want to be like them. I don't like them. More courage to just do it. Yeah. Yeah. So overcoming the fear of doing it. Need people to work with. I mean, okay. Yeah. Finding people, putting myself out there. How do I get people? Yeah. What stops me from doing that? Uh, yeah. Yeah. So if you have a health condition, like Jackie's sharing there, I believe that the emotions that we feel when we focus on an issue are very often the emotions that created that issue in the first place. And so when you focus on any situation, whatever feeling it is that comes up about that is probably the feeling that is blocking you from moving forward. And so what we do is we just allow ourselves to experience it. And we're going to unpack this in more detail in a second. I just want everybody to throw their hat into the ring and make sure everyone's clear before we move forward. Feeling constant conflict with myself, not satisfied, confused. Thank you for your vulnerability. Yeah, yeah. So think about where that conflict gets most activated in yourself, right? And just pick one thing. And this is to everybody. Just pick one thing. Maybe it's in a whole lot of different areas. What's the one thing that would make the biggest difference for you if you shifted it in this session? Even if you reduced it by 50%, that would be a good night, wouldn't it? That would be a good evening, right? So, yeah. So, thank you everybody for joining in. It's really, really been fantastic. Okay, so the next step, so we have this situation that we're in that sucks, basically, right? That's uncomfortable, that's painful, that's shameful, that's not wanted. And then we have all the stories that fire off in our head about being in that situation, right? So things like, I should be over this by now, I'm hopeless, there's something wrong with me. I'm broken. I'm faulty. I'm never going to get there. I don't have enough charisma. I don't know what to do. I don't quite have it. I should have known better. So I'd like to invite you just to throw some of the stories that go around in your head about being in the situation that you're in now. And while you're typing that out, I'll explain to you why we're doing this. Most of us are lost in the story, and we actually believe the story is the truth. Like there's something faulty about me. I'm no good. I'm never going to make it. And while that's kind of going around in our head, it can hold us stuck. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to type it out into the chat so that you can witness it. And when you witness the story, you are no longer the story, you are now the witness of the story. So you become the awareness that's observing the story, and the story loses its grip on us when we do that. So in our heart-centered approach, we don't try to change the stories. We're not doing affirmations, I'm a good person, I'm a lovable person, not at the front end. We do it at the back end, but we need to process the emotion first. And the stories, I'm a good person, I'm a bad person, block us from feeling into what's actually going on, right? So in the chat, I'd love for you to share some of the stories. You'll help everybody else by putting your story in there. And I promise you, your story is not unique. We all will see ourselves in everything that's shared in the chat. So if you can put it in the chat, it will help others to de-shame themselves, and it will also help them to see the difference between who you are and the story that goes through your brain, which is basically just an electrical circuit that was imprinted into you, mostly in your childhood, that you were not born with, right? So, I'm not worthy. No young baby ever thought that, when they're building their tower with their blocks and it falls over. No baby's going to go, oh, I'm a failure. My life is never going to amount to anything. They laugh and then they try to get a bigger failure next time and build it up more, right? Yeah, so I'm unworthy, I'm disposable, I don't matter, I've got nothing to offer, I'm bad, I'm faulty, I'm wrong, I'm unlovable. Just put it down in the chat, holding back from what I need to do. Something is holding me back. And that underneath that would be like, I can't do it, wouldn't it? That's the story. I can't do it, right? I can't get there. Something like that. I'm shit at making documentaries. Ha ha, I'm a storyteller. Yeah, so nothing I'd ever do is good enough, right? I'm not good enough. There it is. Yeah, so that's, Louise Hay says that's the most common issue under all the problems we have is a story. I'm not good enough. And we're going to go deeper than that and go bypass it in a second. I'm never going to learn enough to get this off the ground. I should know this by now. The more I try, the more I get confused. Yes. So these are stories that we get lost in. We go round and round. We just keep going. That's the truth. That's the truth. But, we tend to take action in accordance with the stories that we tell ourselves and then prove ourselves to be right. So what we want to do here, start to witness this. It's just a thought. It's just an electrical impulse. It's not the truth. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough training. Yeah, so yeah, it's a common one, isn't it? So how many people just keep on doing more and more trainings because they feel inadequate inside or scared that they're not going to get it right or they're going to let someone down or they're going to hurt someone. And there's no amount of certificates that is ever going to take that away. You can't fix an inside problem on the outside, right? So you have to go on that journey inside, find where is that coming from? What's the core of this and heal it by feeling it. Scared of success. What if I'm successful? What if I shine out? Will people still like me? Maybe my friends will get jealous. And maybe one of my friends when I was a kid at school got jealous. Maybe people didn't like me being clever in school. Wasted years trying to control emotions and was not emotionally available for my kids and my wife. Yeah, so there's a story. I've wasted my life, right? So you keep telling yourself that over and over. How's that going to help you to really live life fully? It's going to be more wasted time, isn't it? Right? Just self-defeating. It's not going to work. It's not right for me. Yeah, can you see how that just kind of, it's like a cookie cutter stamp. We just put it on everything. And then we don't give it 100% because it's not going to work. So let's not put everything in because then we don't lose everything. It's not a total failure, but it's still going to fail because we didn't put everything in. Right? Yeah, these are really great. Thank you for your honesty and your vulnerability. I'm looking to find my true nature after years of masking and people pleasing. Now it's time to see what makes me happy and complete without the constant self-talk. Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to shift out of the madhouse of the mind, the chaps in the top paddock, we call them, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's actually not complicated, takes practice, but everybody can do it. Thank you, everybody, for joining in on the thumbs up and the hearts. It helps, you know. I can't keep up. I can't do what I planned. I don't know what to do. I can't do it. It's too hard. Yeah, so all these stories, and we're going to journey through the healing that's underneath them. No one will want this. Yeah, so no one will want this. I do heart-centered breath work. I'm a bloke, right? It's like I have to put myself out a bit to do that and go, I don't care. I just want people to be around me who want to live a heart-centered life. That, and I don't care if it's two people or 20 people, 200 people. That's what I want to do. Yeah, it takes courage to do that. To, and overcoming that fear. No one wants this. I don't know how to get going. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. So these just blocks. And how many times, have you thought these things? If every time you thought this thought that you put in the chat was a grain of sand, I'm willing to bet you'd be standing in the Sahara Desert right now. We think these thousands of times every day, over and over and over. It's just a mad loop that we go round and round. So many stories from the trauma. I'm a failure. I'm dumb. I can never, ever contribute. Can't even hold a full-time job. What have I done to make you say such hurtful things? Yeah, so I feel sad reading that, and I appreciate your vulnerability and your honesty in there. And let's do something about healing that. And around the job thing, what I would say to you is that you're not meant to be happy doing what you're not meant to be doing. You're not going to find freedom and fulfillment and contentment doing something that doesn't light you up. And it takes courage to step out, but it's worth it. I can guarantee for that. I was an okay architect, but I'm great at doing breath work. And when I found my, calling, everything came together, and um, I've been having an amazing experience ever since. Thank you for taking the risk to show up in that. I appreciate that. So the big quantum shift, a quanta is a packet of energy. Quantum physics is about shifting from one state to the other without anything in between. A quantum shift is a change in logical typing. A quantum shift for all of us right now in this session is to shift from thinking to feeling. They are two disparate worlds, two worlds that don't overlap. So as human being, we only have two operating systems, thinking and feeling. You're either thinking or feeling. Most of us do way too much thinking, not enough feeling, so we're out of balance. And so the best way to disempower all of these negative stories and self-defeating self-talk is to shift from thinking to feeling. Right? Feeling is the pathway to connecting to the peace and love and happiness and inner soul level guidance to living the life that you're here to live and getting into the flow state where grace starts turning up all over the place, right? Uh, yeah, I could deviate, but I better not. But tempting. But I every day I have mountains of grace happening in my life and just amazing, amazing things happening beyond the expected. Anyway, so what we want to do is shift from thinking to feeling. That is a quantum level shift of being, right? Out of the madhouse of our mind and starting to come into connection to what's actually real, right? And the thing that's most real, our anchor to reality, is our physical body. Our body is the litmus paper for truth. So the mind is a great trickster. It tells us all these stories and we can easily get lost in them. But actually, when you come into your body, the saying is the body never lies, right? And the body is the whisperer of your soul. And so what we do is we're in this situation. We're still in a situation, right? Nothing's changed in our life. But instead of going round and round the madhouse in our head, making ourselves feel worse and worse, what we want to do is drop into the experience that's actually happening for us in that situation, knowing that change happens when we experience what is. So, what I'd like to do now is to invite you to think about that situation that you put in the chat at the start. Take a breath into your body and notice what's going on in your body. So, the language of your head is thoughts. The language of your body is sensations. Sensations have two aspects. They have location and they have qualities. So something is happening in your body when you focus on this issue. Could be in your chest, in your back, in your jaw, in your neck, in your throat, in your hands, in your belly, in your solar plexus. The main areas that we carry emotion in there. So I want you to breathe into your body, focus on the issue. See if you can get a mental picture of when you get activated with this. Is it daytime, nighttime? Are you by yourself? Are you with others? Are you inside, outside? And then take a breath in your body and notice, where are you carrying this in your body? Where is your body speaking to you? And what qualities does that sensation have? Warm, cool, heavy, light, tight, loose, hard, firm, rough, smooth, pulsing, steady, something like that. So take a breath into your body and notice where in your body is the dominant sensation and what qualities do you feel there. And then in the chat, let me know these two things related to this issue. Put that in the chat. Remember to breathe. Right shoulder tight and warm. Very specific location and qualities. That's the way. Tension in the jaw. Yes. Heart feels tight. Yes. Circular around the chest, dull and heavy. Sadness sits in the chest, often heavy. Head, heaviness in the head. Yes. Heavy arms and shoulders. If it's in your head, take a breath in your head and see if you can find out where in the head is it. Is it in the top of the head, the sides of the head, in your forehead, in your eyes, in your face? See if you can be more specific. Heavy arms and shoulders. Yeah. Stomach feels unsettled. So we carry fear, anxiety in the solar plexus there in the stomach. Yeah. Hips tight. Hips about direction in life, moving forward, and about joy too. So some tightness there. What we want to do here is be curious and just explore it with curiosity without judgment. On my back, where my heart is, behind the ribs, kind of pulsating, stabbing, itching. Yeah, so the upper middle back is emotional support, right? And we just want to move to away from negative emotionally charged words like stabbing, and so we tend to just stay with pulsating or sharp. Maybe it could be a sharp pulsating sensation, because when we say something negative like stabbing or burning or tearing, we instantly don't want it. And so we'll contract around it. And what we want to do in this is open up to it and allow it to flow. Diaphragm, like a knot, a tightness in the diaphragm. Yeah. Top of the head. Good. Yeah. Specific. Deep, tight pain, shoulder blades. Yeah. Lower back at the sides. Very specific. Yeah. Belly, numb feeling. Absolutely. Yeah. That's it. Right. So just take a breath in there. You don't have to know what it's about to heal it. The healing's in the feeling. And I can promise you that actually, by just answering this question, you already set that process in motion. The next step inwards is to identify the emotion that you're holding there in your body. And it's good to understand that emotions that are repressed drive us. What we don't feel runs us. As Carl Jung said, all addictions are substitutes for genuine feelings. Repressed emotions, because emotions are energy, give rise to restlessness, anxiety, stress, reactivity, excessive thinking, and excessive doing. So basically, what I've developed over the years is a model of emotions, of six primary emotions, and they are joy and sadness in the chest, excitement and fear in the solar plexus, passion and anger in the belly. So, I'd like to invite you to take a breath into your body. Focus on where you can feel the dominant sensations that you just put in the chat, and see if you can identify which of these six emotions, if you had to pick just one, would you say it relates to what you're feeling at the moment. Put that in the chat. And of course, there are variations on these. So, fear, nervous, frightened, anxious, distrusting, terrified, things like that. Anger, frustrated, annoyed, irritated, outraged, things like that. So, yeah, fear and lack of trust. Yes, good awareness, some sadness there. Absolutely. Yeah, fear. That's the way. Breathing into your body. See if you can feel the emotion. Don't think, what emotion is this? Breathe into that part of your body that you can feel it and notice the emotion that's coming up as you feel it. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining in. Sadness, fear, sadness. Yeah. Start with anger and then sadness into fear. So yeah, Jackie's got experience with processing, so it's unrolling for her and unraveling as we're doing this. Yeah. So you're just breathing in there. Just keep your breath gentle. You don't have to huff and puff. It's already happening. Fear not being connected myself or trusting me. Yeah. Wow. Already getting insights. Well done. Beautiful. Okay, so let's keep going then, right? So the next level down under emotions is your heart intelligence. And so there's a lot of scientific research now that demonstrates that your heart is actually intelligent. And when you're processing through the emotions, there's going to come a time when you just pop into what we call a heart state. And it's often characterized by a sense of calmness, quietness, relaxed, open, peaceful, loving, happy, something like that. And at that point, you get access to your soul level guidance, right? That happens as we go. And I'm going to guide you through that process in a minute when we put all of this together. So, what I've developed is a framework of heart qualities that we can live our life from. So, this is like a way of living a spiritual life that does not involve a religion. And there are 12 heart qualities that we focus on and 12 heart practices that cultivate that quality. So the practice for ease is effortless flow, happiness, savoring the moment, peace, acceptance, love, compassion, connection, presence and openness, gentleness, mercy, kindness, spaciousness like awe or wonder, mystery, wealth, or abundance. The practice is generosity, strength, courage, through welcoming in what the Buddhists call Tonglen or the Christians called conscious suffering. Gratitude, the practice is appreciation and praise, enthusiasm, following your heart. When you're following your heart, you get enthusiasm, and grace, trusting in the perfection of life. So, what I'd like to put to you is that the challenge that you're facing in your life right now is part of your spiritual journey that's calling you to develop one of these heart qualities or something else that's not on the list, but it's going to be a heart quality. So, this is a certain way of looking at our life, understanding that we are here on earth to evolve as human beings and as spiritual beings as well. And the challenges that we face and overcome are all calling us to cultivate a greater depth of one of these heart qualities. And when I guide you through the whole process put together, I'll read these out to you so you don't have to remember them. You just need to remember there's a heart quality and a heart practice, and I will read those out to you as we go through the journey. Okay, so who's ready to do this? We're going to put this all together and journey inside, do some deep healing and clearing. Let me know in the chat if you're up for it. That'd be great. Throw your hat into the ring. Yes, great, fantastic. 3 are. The rest are diving for the keyboard. Great. Thank you. Beautiful. Let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. That's the way. Enthusiasm. Yeah. One of the highest qualities you can cultivate. Yeah, bring it on. That's it. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so we actually have a template guided script that you get with the core clearing training that will allow you to get up and running super fast to guiding people through those 4 levels that we just went through: mind, body, emotion, and heart. It's all put together in a core clearing process, which is where the magic is, really, not just feeling a feeling in your body. That's great. But putting the whole process together is the magic of the core clearing process. And I'm just going to free form it for us in this session. But understand, if you're doing the training, you don't have to remember all this because it's all put together for you. And people start facilitating breathwork sessions straight after the 2 days training, which is coming up super soon in 2 weeks' time. So you could be facilitating sessions before Christmas in December if you join into the next training. So that's super exciting. Anyway, so let's do it then. So I'd like to invite you to sit yourself up nice and straight. Let your eyes close gently. And understand this whole session's being recorded, so you don't have to remember anything that I told you. Just let it go. Anything that really, came home will stay with you. Anything that you don't need to carry right now, let it go. Taking a breath, gentle breath, in down to your belly and up to your chest. Breathing out and letting go. Giving yourself permission to be here in this moment just the way you are. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. And we're not trying to make anything happen at all. We're simply interested in connecting to the experience that's rising in this present moment. So taking a breath in, belly, chest, as a way of bringing yourself into the here and now, of connecting into your body, into the present moment, becoming present, breathing in, and then letting go, softening, opening, surrendering, allowing. Whatever emotions are still here from the journey we just went on, allow those to be here. And call to mind the situation that you're in your life at the moment that you'd like some healing on, that you'd like some clarity on, some enthusiasm, some peace, some acceptance, some compassion, breathing, belly, chest. Call to mind a situation that actually triggers you. Notice where you are when you get activated. Is it inside, outside? Are you by yourself? Are you with others? Are you at home? at work, at sport, breathing, belly, chest. See if you can get a mental picture of where you actually are. Are you sitting at your desk? Are you at the kitchen table? Are you walking? Breathing, belly, chest. Are you in bed at night? It's all quiet and dark and still. You start worrying. Is it when you're with someone else? Someone in your family? Breathing, belly, chest. Just call to mind the situation. We're going to use that as a check-in point. Breathing, belly, chest, letting go. And just call to mind the stories that you've been telling yourself up until now about being in this situation. Things like, I'm no good, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm not worth anything, got nothing to offer, nothing's going to change, I can't do it. All those stories, let them run through your mind right now and become the witness of them. Become the observer of the stories. Understand, you are not the story because you are the witness of the story right now. The stories are like thoughts flowing in a river. Normally we get swept along in the river with the thoughts, and right now the invitation is to step out of the river of thoughts and sit on the bank and just become the observer of the thoughts. They lose their grip on you when you do that. Taking a breath into your belly and up to your chest, staying grounded and anchored in the present moment as you become the witness of the stories that often have been ruining your life, lost in the stories. Right now, sitting on the bank, becoming mindful of the stories. And you may feel a sense of freedom or lightness already from those burdenless thoughts. Breathing in and letting go. Breathing into your body now. Notice what's been happening in your body. Breathing in and letting go. Where is the dominant sensation in your body? Switching from thinking to feeling now. Become curious about the sensation. Let go of any judgment of good or bad, and instead, breathing into your body, call to mind that situation and notice what happens in your body. You feel some tightness, some heaviness, some churning, some tension, sharp or dull, steady or pulsing, heavy, light, hard, soft, breathing into your body, tuning into the place where you can feel the dominant sensation, letting go of any judgment that you might have about feeling this way. Noticing now the emotion that's present. Breathing, belly, chest, focusing on that place in your body where you feel the dominant sensation. It could be different already from what you felt before. Could be more intense, less intense, or in a totally different part of your body. Just go with whatever comes to you in this moment. Breathing, belly, chest, shifting deeper into connection through the physical sensations into the emotion that's present. The emotion is energy. Energy flows. Breathing, belly, chest. Maybe you feel numb, blank, frozen in fear. Disconnection maybe even. Whatever is present, see if you can make that okay for the moment and trust that it's part of the journey of coming into relationship with yourself, coming home to honor what's true. Breathing, belly, chest, expanding, and letting go. Maybe you feel frustrated or angry, irritated. Make that okay if that's you. If you have tightness in your throat, often that's to do with something to say that we're holding in there. So check in there. In the core clearing process, we use anger as energy for self-assertion, to stand up for ourselves, to make changes, and most often to say what was never said. Breathing into your belly and up to your chest. Noticing the emotion. Maybe you feel sadness, tears in your eyes, heaviness in your chest. Breathing into that, giving yourself permission to feel it now. Maybe there's something else there. Nervous, anxious, frustrated, irritated, annoyed, peaceful even. Maybe you feel calm now, you already shifted through. But maybe you're still processing emotion. Breathing belly, chest, expanding and letting go. See if you can give yourself permission to feel the emotion now. And let that emotion take you back in time. Emotion is like a thread that weaves through a blanket of our lives. So feeling into the emotion that's coming up and let the emotion take you back to a previous time when you felt this same feeling. Breathing, belly, chest, letting go. Maybe it takes you back to a past failure, to a past hurt, a letdown, sometime when you were powerless. Could be in your adult life or all the way back to your childhood. It could take you back to school. Breathing, belly, chest, expanding and letting go. Just honoring whatever is rising for you in this moment, understanding that you now are a big, strong adult and you're totally safe, and you're opening up and giving yourself permission to feel these old emotions so that they can be integrated and released so you can move forward free and lighter. Taking that conscious breath into your belly and up to your chest, expanding and letting go, giving yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling fully now. Breathing into it and honoring it. That's the way. Expanding and letting go. For better or worse, this is the way you are for the moment at least. Breathing in, belly, chest, expanding and letting go. The healing is in the feeling, so just staying with the feeling. If your mind wanders off on another story, when you notice you wandered off, take another conscious breath into your body. Call to mind that situation that you're in your life right now. Take a breath into your body and check in. What's happening now? Where in your body is the dominant sensation? Is it the same as it was before? Is it more intense? Less intense? Breathing in and letting go. Maybe it's shifted completely. It's in a different part of your body, a different emotion. Maybe you're feeling peaceful, calm, or quiet. Breathing in and letting go. That's the way. Breathing in, belly, chest, letting go. Opening up, allowing yourself to be present to whatever is rising in this moment, trusting in that fundamental basic goodness of life, that natural tendency to peace and happiness and wholeness that happens when we let go of control and allow the process of life to wash through us. Breathing, belly, chest, expanding and letting go. And if this emotion has taken you back to a previous time when you were a little child and you feel frightened, you might like to imagine the big, strong adult there with you and run like a little movie of what would happen next. And if there's no regression, that's totally okay also. You can still heal this without needing to know where it's coming from by feeling it in your body. So taking that conscious breath in, belly, chest, expanding and letting go. Feeling it in your body and letting go. Nice deep breath, expanding and letting go. And by now, you're probably not just feeling the physical sensations, you're probably also can tune into the flow of energy in your body. Maybe there's a heaviness sinking down through your body, or a swirling, or even a tension pulling in on itself. See if you can breathe into your body and feel the flow of energy in your body, and see if you can allow the energy to flow in the direction it wants to go in. Breathing, belly, chest, letting go. Everything in the universe is just energy flowing from one state to another. Expanding and letting go. That's the way, letting it all flow. Let go. Breathing belly, chest, letting go. Checking in once more. Notice what's happening in your body, how you're feeling. Understanding that this challenge in your life is actually present as a catalyst for you to evolve personally and spiritually. This challenge is actually calling you to grow, to develop a heart quality in order to master this situation. Breathing into your belly now and up to your heart region in the middle of your chest. Understand that your heart is intelligent and you can access it for guidance in your life. So I'd like to invite you to tune into your heart region and consider which heart quality you're being called to develop here. And so we're going to identify a heart quality and put it into an intention in the form of I consent to living in the presence of this heart quality and practicing this heart practice. So maybe this situation is calling you to cultivate a greater sense of ease by practicing effortless flow. In which case, I consent to living in the presence of ease and practicing effortless flow. Maybe it's calling you to cultivate more happiness by practicing savoring the moment. I consent to living in the presence of happiness and practicing savoring the moment. Or maybe to cultivate a deeper sense of peace by practicing acceptance. Breathing belly to chest, checking into your heart, listening to your heart's calling here, your heart's guidance. Maybe this situation is calling you to develop a deeper capacity to love through compassion, through caring for suffering, your suffering or someone else's. I consent to living in the presence of love and practicing compassion. Maybe this situation is calling you to deepen your connection through deeper presence and openness. I consent to living in the presence of connection and practicing presence and openness. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to be more gentle and kind to yourself. I consent to practice living in the presence of gentleness and practicing kindness and mercy. Maybe this is an opportunity to open into the mystery of life, of awe and wonder. I consent to living in the presence of spaciousness and practicing mystery. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to practice wealth and abundance. through practicing generosity. I consent to living in the presence of wealth and abundance and practicing generosity, giving of spirit. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to develop more strength and courage by practicing welcoming life in. Breathing in, I consent to living in the presence of strength or courage and practicing welcoming life in. Maybe this is an opportunity to practice more gratitude through praise and appreciation. I consent to living in the presence of gratitude and practicing appreciation and praise. Maybe this situation is calling you to cultivate more enthusiasm by listening to and following your heart. I consent to cultivating enthusiasm by listening to and following my heart. Maybe this is an opportunity to develop a deeper trust in life, grace. I consent to living in the presence of grace and trusting in the perfection of life. Breathing into your belly and up to your heart. Listen to your heart, and if something else came that I didn't read out, that's totally fine too. Just trust whatever comes to you. I consent to living in the presence of a heart quality of and practicing the heart practice of. If you want to have a peek, it's on the screen. Breathing, don't think it. Feel it in your heart. Go with your first intuition. It'll keep coming back to you. Just trust whatever comes up. Breathing into that now. Cultivating that heart quality. Remembering a previous time in your life when you felt that feeling. Breathing belly, chest. Connecting to that heart quality that's going to help you to manage this situation that you're in. And now ask your heart for guidance. If I was going to take the next action step from this heart quality of, what I would do is, I was going to take the next action step from this heart quality of, the next action step would be. That's the way. Breathing, belly, chest, letting go. Well done. Taking another conscious breath in, we're going to round this off now. Breathing in down to your belly and up to your chest, expanding and letting go. Take another deep breath down to your hands and feet. Be aware of the room that you're in, the sound of my voice outside of you. Wiggle your fingers and toes as you bring yourself fully back into the present moment. And when you're ready, let your eyes open gently. Have a nice big stretch. Welcome back. Well done. In the chat, I'd love to hear what happened. What did you experience? Where are you now? What's the heart quality that you got and the practice? What do you feel like sharing with us? Some feedback, an insight, maybe an action step, maybe the journey that you went on. Gratitude, a lightening of anxiety. I've been feeling beautiful, awesome. Yeah, What you focus on expands. It's a fundamental principle for manifestation. So if we focus on gratitude, we just focus on all the goodness that's in our life. Beautiful. Ease and effortless flow, one step at a time, the way to hike in Nepal. Beautiful. Yeah. Life teaching us that. Just take the next step. That's how we live from our heart. Is just take the next step. Ahead wants the 5-year plan, wants to know what's the mountain behind this mountain. But here we are. We have to just step over the rock that's in front of us. Yeah, beautiful. And if we do that, how you climb a mountain one step at a time. Beautiful, effortless flow, perfect. Acceptance, feeling calm and peaceful. Wonderful. Yeah, beautiful. Oh my goodness, it was clear as day. Thank you, Nicholas. Just what I needed. Good on you. You threw yourself right in. Well done. Even if I was just here first, that was part of the pain. Yeah. I consent to live in the presence of peace and practicing acceptance. Blessings to you, sister. uh, Really peaceful. Yeah, how fantastic. Peace is a master quality for happiness and success and healing and growth. Peace is an ultimate quality. It's on the tone scale. It's the highest quality for life. Beautiful. Grace and trust. How wonderful. How wonderful. I love it. Yeah, really. What a blessing. That's one of my personal goals is to live in the presence of grace, be conscious that I'm being loved and blessed by life. And in that mix is understanding I'm always doing the best that I can with the knowledge and experiences I've got today, not not tomorrow, not last year, now. Yeah, beautiful. Tingly feeling at the crown of my head. Deep relaxation. Wow, wonderful. All that happened. And good on you for hanging in there. It gives one feeling, Peniel. Love to hear just a little bit of detail. What if you had to pick a heart quality, maybe? Connection, presence, and openness. Beautiful, wonderful. Yeah, that's the way. We go by braille, we go by feel around here. I'm not alone. How wonderful. Courage, connection, next step. Make a call. That's it. We just next step it. That's how I live from my heart. Is just next step it. What's next? What's my heart saying to do next? Make the call. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Strength and courage, welcoming in. Beautiful. Now, trust and acceptance after clearing loads of sadness and sorrow from being abandoned at 5. Much blessings and love to you. Thank you for sharing. Very vulnerable. Yeah, trust and acceptance. Wonderful. Trust and acceptance. Profound, profound, and what a no doubt, precursor to compassion for you, for others going through suffering too and loss. Thank you for sharing that. Love and present, knowing really to put plans into action. Courage has returned. Yeah, awesome. Acceptance. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Beautiful. Clarity. Yes, wonderful. Gentleness. Slow down even more. Yeah. As a high performer, take the foot off the accelerator altogether, roll down the hill. Courage closed down Pilates studio. Wow. Wow. Taking breath work to the next level. Yeah. Trust life supports me no matter what decision I make. Yeah. Wow. That makes sense, doesn't it? That accident happened maybe as a major life course shift that is the next step. And they sometimes we have to let go of the past to move forward into the new. You can't sometimes, not always, you can't hang on to the past and move forward because our arms are just not long enough. And they say that in South America they have this little monkey trap where they hollow out a coconut, put a hole in the back with a piece of string tied to a tree, put a banana in the coconut shell, and the monkey comes along, grabs the banana, but with the banana in his hand, he can't get it out of the coconut shell. And then they run up and grab the monkey. And we're a bit like that. Sometimes we hang on to these things in our past and we don't want to let go. We're scared to let go and trust. And then sometimes we get the big nudge, Jackie. Yeah, so that's really profound for me. Clarity and scary still. Like following your heart is not the not scary way to go. Your heart is going to tell you to do things that are scary. Step into the unknown, live your truth, stand out, speak your truth, walk your walk. A lot of things that the heart tells you. It's not soft and mushy. It's actually quite courageous path and often the bumpy road too. Like go and do this thing that's really inconvenient. Like Beck was saying, move to the east. Like, oh shit, pack everything up. But following your heart is the pathway to happiness. It's the only way you can live the life that you're here to live. You can't live your life fully if you're not living your truth. And your heart is your direct connection to that guidance. Yeah, but it takes courage. Yeah, follow my heart. Yeah, complete the changes I started in presentation. Great. Yeah, acceptance. I've gained everything I need, but there is no longer opportunity for growth. So I'm stunted. I need to move on. Growth, courage, belief, trust that I am worthy. Yes, you are already worthy before you started anything beautiful, whole, complete, and lovable. And we get to experience that in our heart. It's not outside of us. You can't fill the hole in your heart with stuff on the outside. You want to find it inside, fill up, and then move out into the world from that place of fullness. Quite disconnected from my heart, very mind-centered. It's a common theme. Yeah, I hope to change my life. You are on that journey, my friend, and it is a journey. So be kind and gentle with yourself, just one step at a time. You've put your hand up. You're going to do this. Shut down my emotions. Was a trauma response that got me through childhood. Absolutely. That was how you survive. So don't make it wrong. It's just now you don't need to do that. And now you're coming home to your heart, you've committed into the training, and this is the journey that will take you through for the rest of your life until we all have halos and we're turning water into wine and levitating. We've got more work to do. Love breath work, unfathomable how effective it is. Only does it 2 times before. It's magic. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Well done. Yeah. What a wow. What a great group. Thank you, everybody. Like strangers, a lot of people come in new, strangers, and opened up and shared so deeply with us in this session. Thank you, everybody, for your vulnerability and honesty, and power to you for living the life that you're here to live. And if that path takes you down the breathwork facilitator route, let me tell you about how that could be look for you. So basically, our work is focused on helping empaths, heart-centered people to find meaning and fulfillment in service to others with breath work. The 3 biggest challenges empaths have is they tend to get tired and burnt out from overgiving, overcaring, helping everybody else with suffering. They get stagnant and want to go deeper because they know intuitively, they can feel there's always another level. And so we have a commitment to growing spiritually and evolving that is undeniable. And often we're not so good at business and marketing because we're good at giving and not so good at receiving. And so those are the 3 pillars in our core clearing breathwork training. The first one, to fill up your own cup to full to overflowing, to supercharge your own energy so you've got lots to give to others. The second pillar is finding meaning and fulfillment through facilitating profound shifts and continue your own growth in there. And then the third pillar in the training is really creating a thriving business in service to others. Right? So all the sales and business and marketing elements are included in this training. And I'll just walk through them briefly, and I appreciate if you can hang around while I go through this, and then I'll open up the channel at the end for any sharings that we want to go through. So basically, there's 3 levels of breathwork that you learn in this training. The first one is everyday breathing practices across the whole range of different breathing techniques that are on the planet at the moment. And these practices you can facilitate in person or online, one-on-one with people, or deliver to groups. So the first module in the training is based on looking at self and co-regulation, how to be a peaceful, loving, healing presence for yourself and for others. And the three pillars in that are the Keys to Emotional Mastery book, which is the education we should have got at school about our emotions, but we didn't. The Head to Heart audio, which is the 4 steps to map out in more detail than we've done in this session to journey from the head to the heart, and then the heart centering breathwork meditations, 5, 10, and 20 minute to cultivate presence in your heart, because most of us have done so much thinking we become disconnected into the conceptual world and we're disembodied, and so we need to practice building up the quality of loving presence by connecting to our heart center. And it's backed by the heart math science that's behind this of heart coherence. So somebody who's facilitating these kinds of shifts through self and co-regulation through holding spaces is Marlon Walker. He's one of our graduates. He works in Paran as he's a remedial muscle personal trainer turned breathwork practitioner, helping people to heal deep physical pain using our heart-centered breathwork practices like you just journeyed through yourself. Um, so in module 1, which you get access to as soon as you register, is the 9 breathing practices across the whole range of different breathing styles. You get the PowerPoint presentations for these, and each of these practices has the benefits of it, the science behind it, and the instructions for how to do it. And so we have lots of people who start doing Facebook challenges and leading groups, presenting to groups. Sarah Moore is an early childhood development leader mentor. And she just started bringing these practices into her presentations to school principals, right? Melanie, who's normally with us on this session, she must be busy. She's a coach, so she might be working Tuesday nights. She started teaching people these 1 minute breathing practices while she was just on module 1 in the training. She set up a Facebook group called Take a Minute to Breathe, which I think you can still find in there. Melanie came in with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, highly sensitive, easily emotionally flooded, and she just was able to integrate more and more confidently the emotions in her everyday life. So she's really, really rolling in an amazing way. She just got a $1,500 offer to present the core clearing breathwork sessions in NDIS providers framework. Also in module 1 is the heart visioning workshop. So this is a 1-day workshop that help you to identify and clear the subconscious blocks that are stopping you from living the life that you're here to live, and to find out what would your life look like if you just listened to and trusted the guidance from your heart. If you just followed your heart, this course is all about mapping out what that would look like. Also, in module 1 is the Heart-Centered Coaching Training Series. So this is 15 one-hour teachings from me on how to be the best breathwork, heart-centered breathwork practitioner that you can be. And there's 9 sessions in here on how to work with specific issues that your clients might come to you with from a heart intelligent perspective, like we've done in this session. So it's not positive thinking, it's not NLP, it's not hypnosis, it's actually helping people to connect to the core unresolved emotion that causes problems in our life and resolve it. That's all. You get all that in module 1 as soon as you register, and you can actually register for module 1 for a $200 deposit, get all that. The next step along the journey is the heart centering breathwork for personal growth. And so in that program, I'll skip in here, there's a 10-week personal growth program where you get to look at each of the major areas of your life and identify and clear where you're stuck or blocked, and do a core clearing breathwork session to clear that so that you elevate your life. Now, when you finish the training, you get that same program to deliver to your clients, all packaged up, ready to go. So you get to deliver what we call a high ticket item, which helps you to actually build a life in service to others with breathwork. Module 3 then is the core clearing breathwork skills part of the training. That's 2 days online, coming up soon, the 29th and 30th of November. It's a small group gathering on Zoom. I presented in person, live, online, and you'll get everything you need to start facilitating core clearing breathwork sessions from those 2 days. And then it includes also 4 follow-on evening sessions where you get, in a safe and supportive environment, the opportunity to swap sessions with other people in the training that you got to know during the weekend, so that you get the confidence to know that you can facilitate sessions where people get value out of it and they finish the sessions feeling whole and complete and integrated. We have lots and lots of people who facilitate breathwork sessions on the night after the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, of the training. So you get everything you need. I mentioned the script before, that's in there. So that allows you to get up and going super fast. Well, this is a full professional breathwork certification. We have many doctors, medical doctors, that are doing the training. We have a couple doing the training right now, and we have had lots and lots of medical doctors in the past who have done our trainings and send their patients to us as well. Included in the skills training is 3 breathwork workshops that you can deliver to groups. There's 2 90-minute ones, there's one online, one in person, and a 3-hour emotional healing workshop, all built for you with the whole time frame, part of a 32-page guide, how to set up your workshop, how to get clients, how to facilitate the sessions. It's all in there. This is Maddie Griffith in Albury running a breathwork session with a lady that does sound healing. You can see the sound bowls there. And he uses the 5-step heart centering practice in group settings and is having fantastic feedback from that. This is Alicia in Brisbane. She ran a group core clearing emotional healing workshop in her yoga studio. The lady that owns the studio got 14 people together. She came in, she delivered this 3-hour workshop, and she said to me afterwards, she sent me an email saying she was actually genuinely shocked at the deep insight and awareness that happened. And she was the one who motivated me to build this 3-hour workshop for her. It comes with a script, so you just basically share it from your heart, and you can guide a whole group through a healing session like we just did in this session tonight. So everything that's in the training is everything that you need to create a life in service to others. We now have people all around the world that are doing our training and bringing it to life and creating a life that they love in service to others. There's monthly live mentoring sessions with myself and Susan and with our master coaches twice a month. There's the breathwork meditations, heart coherent, and the core clearing breathwork sessions. There's the script. There's the 10-week program that you get all packaged up, done for you to deliver to your clients so that you can start charging a reasonable amount to deliver breathwork and engaging people and taking them on a life transforming journey so they go out in the world and become raving fans and send their friends back to you. There's the group breathwork session guidelines. The whole business in a box comes with this marketing and sales systems all mapped out from a heart-centered place. It's not Harvey Norman sell, sell, sell. It's all about connecting and engaging and inviting people to step through and journey with you. There's an enrollment session, guideline script, Facebook ads. You get to swap the sessions. There's manuals, handbooks. All the teachings are recorded on membership site that you get access to. You can go back and refresh any of those teachings whenever you like, for as long as you like. We are internationally recognized by the International Institute for Complementary Therapies, which is the leading alternate health provider in the world, and that entitles you to be able to access professional indemnity insurance, and you become part of our global heart-centered community. So having a community is super important to me. We are very blessed to have a lot of wonderful people in our community. Quite a few of them are on this session tonight, and I'm sure that they will vouch for the beautiful love and sharing that happens in our community. The theme in our community is a rising tide floats all boats, which means all for one and one for all. And that's really important to me. It's what I love about the work is connecting heart to heart with people. And we have people in Czechoslovakia, Estonia, Ireland, England, America, Canada, South Africa, and New Zealand. Sorry, I should have put New Zealand first. No, I'm kidding. But all around the world, and that kind of makes the world a smaller place in a nice way, a global village. So the format for the training is that it's in three modules. The first module is on self and co-regulation, and I mentioned what's in that. The second module is the 10-week program that you work through. You can be doing this program while you're doing module 3, which is the skills training. Right. So if you want to jump in and start that. The skills training is in a couple of weeks, so I'd get going on You Can Change Your Life, because there's a couple of foundation pieces early in the training that would be great to cover. And then we'll see you Saturday and Sunday, the 29th and 30th of November from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The days are super fast and super engaging. The training is life transforming. Many people have profound shifts in the training because I'm teaching people how to live from their heart instead of from their head. And that's a whole different paradigm, a whole different way of living. And I map it out in great detail. It just happens to be a way of living that's healing and that we use in the breath work. If you break down everything that's in the training and add it up, it comes to over $10,000 worth of value. And for the limited time, we have an action taker 70% discount on that. So the current fees for the training are $29.50. You can pay those in 6 monthly installments of $458. And if you pay up front, there's a discount rate of $2,700. So if you're interested in joining us, there's in your email inbox at 8 o'clock, there was an email that arrived with all the registration links. So you can jump in and book in and get going. If I haven't met you personally, I would love to have a clarity session with you and get to know you, find out where you're at, what you're looking for. So when you're in the training, I can help you to get to where you want to go. And the link to book the clarity session is in here too. So understand this is a real, genuine business opportunity. It's an investment opportunity that you can pay for the whole training with just 3 clients going through the Tune Up Your Life 10-week program for $900 each. This is Katie Scope in the middle of Western Australia in an outback mining town. She did the training. She set up little kindergarten sessions because she's got toddlers. She set up a women's circle in the town, and then she enrolled people into the 10-week breathwork program. By the time she finished her assessment, she'd already paid for the training. This is Kim Marie down in Apollo Bay, and within 1 month of finishing her training, she had enrolled 3 clients at $900 into the 10-week program and paid for her training. She'd done no other work before this. We have a special offer that if you sign up into this training in the next 24 hours, if you're still in the webinar, then we're going to throw in a bonus that we haven't done before. We did just 2 weeks ago, but we have 7 10-minute breathwork meditations that we'll throw in as a bonus to give you that incentive to step across the line, follow your heart. You're in great company. We are rock solid. We've been here forever. We're not on the latest bandwagon with this. You're in good hands and you're learning from somebody who's made it happen. So love to have you with us if this is something in your heart that's calling you. And so Susie's put in there the link to the Book of Clarity session, which is fantastic. Thank you, my wonderful partner in the work. And there's the link for the clarity session in the chat. And if you'd like to download a prospectus that's got all these details in it, there's another link there for you as well if you don't already have that. So thank you for joining us. And it's been an absolute delight. I'm going to pause the recording and open up the line for any feedback, any chat. Thank you particularly for hanging around to the end. If anybody would like to share anything,